All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to our admissions partner webinar training series. This is on the AIM mission, which is our Academy Introduction mission. It's our summer immersion program for interested students, and campus programs. So campus programs that bring students here to campus. Every year, the campus sees at least 3,000 to 4,000 visitors, and a number of those, about 1,000 or so, come specifically for our visit programs, not including admissions briefs and tours. So those are overnight events and day-long events like Bears Day, Cadet for a Day, AEP, Genesis Invitational, and the like. So we're going to cover some of those programs and talk to you a little bit about those. We'll be recording this and posting it if you miss anything or like to go back and review. As we go through, if you want to hold your questions to the end, we'll allow about 5 minutes or so to type anything that you need to get addressed, any questions, comments, concerns, and we'll make sure that we cover those items as well. All right, so you should also be seeing the screen here to your right, if you're looking at the same layout that I am, that says AIM Summer Program. It has some of the session dates for 2018. I'm going to start with the AIM program. So my background here at admissions, I was an admissions officer for 2 years, and then I took over as campus programs and also as the AIM manager. Ms. Leone, Lieutenant JG Mary Leone, is this year's AIM project officer. She's doing a tremendous job, super busy. Was not able to make it to tonight's session, so you'll have to bear with me. So sorry. Hopefully that's okay and it works out, and then I'll try to cover all the information possible. But luckily, a lot of things remain the same, so I can at least speak somewhat knowledgeably on the topic. So AIM is our summer program for rising high school seniors. It was founded actually in 1955, is our first AIM program, and was initially run and operated by the Coast Guard Auxiliary. The Auxiliary then kind of relinquished some of its control back to the Academy, later then became the Academy Introduction Mission, and the admissions office took a little bit more ownership in it. As far as the application, selecting students, and then running it. Although we still heavily rely on our auxiliaries and our admissions partners to come and provide program support every single year as far as logistics, travel, whatever that may mean as far as support for the AIM program in the admissions office. So we're pretty limited here with bodies and always appreciate more involvement. So as far as what does AIM offer, it is or how do you get into the AIM program? Let's start there. So the AIM program, you would apply for it your junior year. The application for AIM is open for high school juniors between the ages of 16 and 18 starting February 1st. The application closes April 15th, and then selections are April 1st, excuse me, so February, March, April. It's closed April 1st. The month of April is then given up to selection, and we make all of our selections. We make those based off of all of the same criteria that we look for in applicants. We want viable applicants who offer a number of diverse, compelling interests. So we're looking for those athletic groups, we're looking for geodiversity, we're looking for our gender diversity and our racial ethnic diversity, and trying to really kind of allow students who are especially coming from far distances to come and check out the program in a meaningful way, knowing that they can compete for an academy appointment and are someone who we would be interested in as an applicant. So we do use it as a recruiting and a retention tool. So the other academies, when they run their summer programs, are able to bring in a lot more students. They are run more like a recruiting tool. So they make them fun. They're often described by students who attend them as, summer camps, or when students describe West Point's camp as like playing kickball on the street until 11 o'clock at night, and when you can go get soft serve ice cream in the mess deck or the wardroom of Air Force Academy, that's not so much what AIM is. So AIM is designed to be an immersion program that shows a student a realistic expectation of SWAB summer. It is repeatedly said to us in feedback that this is the hardest program for students to attend. It's a great test drive of the academy. So if students have a lot of reservations or they're not so sure on what to expect, this is the premier program that they want to attend. So if they come here and check us out and give us that test ride, they will know by the time they leave here whether or not this is the right fit for them. So they'll finish that application. In the application itself, we ask many of the same questions as we ask on the actual application. We ask them to fill out some short answer questions. We ask them to fill out, I think it's 3. We ask them to fill out their extracurricular activities. We ask for 1 letter of recommendation. That's from a guidance counselor or someone who can provide their transcript. So we're going to ask for that transcript. We're also going to ask that they provide some medical information so we can at least see if they're somewhat medically qualified. Now, we're not doctors, so we won't be asking for the full DOD-MERB medical evaluation, but we do want to make sure that we cover some of our basic medical requirements. That may be like, do you actively use an inhaler? Do you have you in the last 12 months broken any bones? Do you actively take any mental medication or medication for ADHD, ADD? Now, if you go on to the Cadet or the Academy blogs, you'll see a lot of people talking about those questions, kind of trying to circumvent them. We ask that students answer those to the best of their ability and to their most accurate and true sense, so that we are providing a safe and healthy environment to all our participants. So that's our biggest push there, is for safety. So once they apply for the AIM program in April, we make those selections. We talked a little bit about the selection process, and then they get here in July. So they'll, once selected, it is first come, first serve to pick their week. They have to get into their Bears Den account. They'll receive notifications on whether or not they were selected to the program or not selected, and what their next step is if they were not selected or selected. If they are selected, they go in their Bears Den account, they view their selection letter. I ask that all students read through that selection letter in its entirety. It will be under My Applications. You'll see the AIM application, and then Your Decisions Now available to view online. They'll click on that link and view the decision letter. From there, it'll have all the directions and instructions on how to complete their registration and enrollment in AIM. As far as enrollment, it's first come, first serve for picking their week. The weeks are in July. They'll attend 1 week. This year, we received around 1,930 applications for around 550 spots in the program. We made about 600 appointments to AIM, and over the course from May until now, about 50 people dropped off that list. So we went from 600 appointments to 550. We're at around 549, 548 at the moment. So that number is hard to change at this point, just because all of our spaces are full. We have made all of our arrangements as far as materials and food for folks. So students can expect, if they are placed on the wait list, to find out really no later than June 1st. We'll notify people by June 1st, and then we ask that they have their paperwork and payment to us as soon as possible. Payment for the program is $525, I believe, and that can be waived if they apply for a scholarship. So you send out needs-based scholarships. You would put in a request, and based on the number of people in the household, the average income of the household, average savings of the household, and any people that they're paying for who are currently in college, we'll make our determination of who receives scholarships. We hand out both fee and travel scholarships. So if they can't afford the fee of the program and that's the only cost holding them back, then we'll help cover that. If they can't cover the travel of the program, we'll help them with the travel cost of the program as well. We ask people fill those out truthfully. It really does make a difference in some people's experience. And other folks aren't as, they don't need it as much. So we'll provide those responses to them as well. And just kind of putting everything in context for those who put in for those requests. After they come for the program, so they'll report in July for 1 week. It is hot, so they have to be ready to perform. It's going to be a physical program. They'll be running around. They get AIM uniforms. It's all Adidas stuff. They look very good, a long way from the old cotton shorts and cotton t-shirt days and crummy hat that we used to get way back in the day. I went to the AIM program in 2004. So now they get all Adidas stuff. They get Adidas backpacks. They get water bottles. Just to kind of give you an example, like here's the Camelback water bottle they're getting this year, Coast Guard Academy. So pretty sweet gear that they get, all brand new, and all paid for using those fees. And then on top of that, they are going to go through engineering some participation in some engineering projects. They're also going to go through what's called a college fit training. We take off the Coast Guard uniform per se and talk to them just about college placement and where they would best fit in a college environment. Throughout all of this, our admissions partners are helping with logistics of the program. So you're helping, we bring in about 16 to 17 per week. This year, we decided to bring in 5 new partners per program. So each week we'll have 5 new participants. We bring in a number of people who have been to the program before, and we bring in a few people who will help lead the partner sections who have been doing it for a number of years. So that's just to maintain a certain level of consistency, and we'll bring back people time and time again. So if you did put your name in the hat for AIM this year and weren't selected, there will be more opportunities to come. And if you are selected, you may or may not be selected for future participation, because we also use it as an opportunity to train our partners, to get them here on campus, learning more about the academy, and we want to make that available to as many people as possible. So AIM, they also get to go on asset tours, they get to go on the sailboats, they will get to really experience cadet life, and really from the perspective of what SWAB summer may feel like. Now, SWAB summer, and this is something I explain to all students who apply for AIM and are not selected. Not everyone who goes to AIM is selected to the academy. Not everyone who is denied to AIM is not selected to the academy, and not everyone who applies to AIM will essentially end up coming here. Everyone who is not selected, what I tell them is that it is a realistic view of what SWAB summer may be like. But SWAB summer is 7 out of 200 training weeks here at CGA. That's less than 3% of your time as a cadet, maybe a little bit more. 3% of your time as a cadet is spent in SWAB summer. More than 80% of your time as a cadet is spent at an event during the school year while going to class. So if they were to come back for a campus event in the fall or the spring, that would be a much more realistic impression of what the academy actually is. SWAB summer, in my opinion, is the easiest 7 weeks of your life. You only do what you're told, eat 3 meals a day, and sleep about 6 hours a night. It doesn't get any easier than that, and it actually only gets harder once the academic year begins. So that is my kind of tagline for all students who ask about the AIM program. And I didn't get into AIM. What does that mean? Those who do go to AIM will be evaluated. So just like they're evaluating us, we are also evaluating them. That evaluation will be going into their application. They can request that evaluation with a FOIA request, but it is part of their official hiring documentation to the military, which is oftentimes not released to those applying. So that kind of summarizes the AIM program. If you have more questions about that, please send those down into the thought message IM screen down below in the lower left. And for those interested in assisting for future AIM programs, like Mr. Gonzalez asked, what you can do is you can provide your name to Ms. Megan Grills or myself, or you can send those names to Mr. John and Ms. Carol Johnson, and we'll try to get you into a future program. This year, we received about 100 requests from admissions partners to come to AIM, and we could really only fund and support about 48 of those being accepted. So your chances of coming to AIM, we're about 50% this year. So that is where we stand with that. And Mr. Gonzalez, we'd be happy to take your name or anyone else who is interested in future opportunities. So here on the screen with the AIM dates, if you go to the admissions website and drop down to the AIM summer program and click there, you'll learn all about the AIM program. You'll see the session dates this year when they're being held, key dates for the application of when the due dates and deadlines are, and then what to expect when you're here. You can watch videos of AIM experiences. You can apply here, which the application is currently offline, and you can get set. So how that will be your AIM applicant book or your AIM handbook, and you can learn what ways you can get prepared. You'll bring some of your own materials. We'll send you a bunch of materials as well. But also here on the right-hand side, you can learn about those tuition costs, those scholarships, and then of course the forums. So under the forums, we ask that they provide medical information. They can download their AIM handbook. They can do the medical release or emergency contact here. Planning and packing checklist, scholarship requests, update travel form. That's for updates only. All of the travel information they'll do on their enrollment side through that acceptance letter. fitness preparation, rules and regulations, and then the family day flyer. So on Fridays, the families get to come in, see what the students have been doing, learn a little about the engineering side of the house, and then watch all their students graduate. By the time the students leave, they're super excited. They love the program. We get them in touch with the current cadets so they get to keep learning more. So that's the AIM program, and I appreciate folks commenting here. So Mr. Gonzalez, or Mr. Desplasia says, do you have to commit all of your summer or 1 or 2 weeks? So for the admissions partners, we only bring in about 16 at a time per week. So you only have to give up 1 week in July. Same for the participants. Participants would only participate 1 week. Partners come in on a Sunday and then leave on a Saturday. That's the typical travel dates of our admissions partners. Okay, so now we're going to move over to our campus events. So we spoke about that 80% plus opportunity at the Coast Guard Academy. So the 80% plus is during the school year, and they have got to be able to look at those programs and decide which one they want to attend. So we're going to go over to our admissions website. And on the admissions website, you might see some of it start to move a little bit. You'll see schedule a visit. If you click on schedule a visit on the right-hand side, obviously you'll see the virtual tour experience. Now this is for anyone who can't physically set foot on the Academy grounds. I encourage you to please get into the virtual tour, check us out, see what we're about. You can also download our app, which is our walking tour guide, and that is over here in the right-hand column, or by searching US Coast Guard Academy in your app store. The campus visit programs are listed here briefly. Our day visits include campus brief and tour. This is about a 2 to 3 hour introduction to the Academy, followed by a tour. It may be self-guided or cadet-led. We have our Bears Day. Bears Day is open up for all ages. We have people who are in 7th and 8th grade, although it is ideal for folks who are freshmen, sophomores, and juniors in high school looking to learn more about the Academy. Seniors are welcome to participate, but for seniors, we have a great overnight program called Cadet for a Day. Bears Day is a great filler if they are unable to get to an overnight program or if they fill up. They'll still be paired up with cadets. They'll still shadow classes and see what the Academy is about. It is a very worthwhile admissions presentation. Also here for our day-long experiences is the Science, Technology, and Engineering program called STEP. This is a day-long hands-on participation for that both focuses on recruiting women and underrepresented minority first-generation college students to explore careers in engineering and the sciences. So they'll come here to the Academy. They'll be paired up with our engineering faculty. They'll learn a lot about kind of the various different science and tech opportunities here in the Coast Guard, and also more about college placement, and just see what the science technology field offers in a college level environment. So this is a great day-long opportunity. It's often attended much more by local students, so New England. Some students make it in from New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland, but if you do want to come in for the day, that is well worth your time. I highly recommend it, and you'll get in touch with a lot of students, a lot of our engineering faculty, and with the admissions staff. So look into that as well. For our overnight programs, you'll see the AIM mission is the first one that comes up. Obviously, it's a very in-depth, involved program. Right after that would be our Cadet for a Day program. So Cadet for a Day then opens up for students who did not get into the AIM program, and also any interested high school senior who's looking to come here for an overnight event. Cadet for a Day, you would shadow a cadet for up to 24 hours. Those are held from September through November. You'll go to class, you'll eat in the wardroom, you'll experience cadet life, you'll go to those athletic practices or those music practices, you'll see what drill is all about, and you'll really leave here with a good sense of, can I see myself going to school here? Do I think I would fit in well here? Do I like the structure? Do I like the rigidity? How will I do here? The Genesis Invitational is your next overnight program. Genesis Invitational focuses also on underrepresented minority and first-generation college student recruiting. It is a comprehensive 2-day visit by invitation, so we ask that students meet certain academic standards. We will invite the student and one of their parents to come to the Academy and experience what this place is. So this is a great way to show the families what Coast Guard Academy is, and to show the student what life could be like here as a cadet. There are need-based scholarships also available to cover your travel expenses, so you can put in those scholarship requests. And any additional information on the Genesis program or Cadet for a Day can always be directed to Miss Lieutenant J.G. Mary Leone by calling our front desk at 860-444-8503 or emailing her directly. Her information is also on here as well under the admissions staff. The last program here is our Academy Experience program. This is a program for accepted students. So if you have a full appointment to the Coast Guard Academy, you'll be invited to the Academy Experience program. I highly recommend coming to the Academy if you haven't seen it already. And if you've been appointed, maybe put some of that college tuition savings towards a plane ticket to come up to CGA and check us out. It's a 2-day event for admitted students. They'll meet educators. You'll get a bit of a different program, so you'll meet more of the senior staff and see more of the support options here at the Academy, academic support. You'll hear more from our athletics department. You'll hear more from our professors. You'll get kind of closer touches with the Director of Admissions to see if there's any final questions that you have before signing on the dotted line. And you'll also get your signing ceremony. There's a signing ceremony on the second day. It's a great program. We go into a lot of detail as far as what to expect here when you sign and what joining the Coast Guard Academy family actually means. So for those families looking to become Coast Guard Academy cadets and Coast Guard Academy family members, I highly recommend looking into the Academy Experience program once appointed to the Coast Guard Academy. Down here at the bottom, there's a number of featured events. So we have our Eagle admissions events and workshops. We have admissions workshops all over the country. Continue to look on our calendar of campus events, which can be found by searching our schedule. If you need more information on our various online resources, including the schedule, check out our other YouTube video labeled U.S. Coast Guard Academy Partner Webinar Series for our online resources. So check out the online resources video. You'll learn a lot more there about what's available from the Coast Guard Academy.edu website, as well as gocoastguard.com, USCGA sports.com. And if you're an admissions partner using Hobson's, we go into some Hobson's detail as well. So those cover a little bit of our campus event programs. We are at the 18-24-minute mark, so it's perfect timing to start some of those questions and answer times. If you have a question at all in regards to AIM or our campus programs, go ahead and put those down into your IM thought bubble. I'd be happy to answer those at this time. All right. Thank you very much, Patty, for bringing that up. So we've got also a great program, not only for students, but for educators and influencers. It's called our Educator and Influencer program. So this is for those educator invitations. Let's say that you work with a high school or a couple high schools and you meet some of their educators and you want to get that guidance counselor or that professor or that JROTC instructor, or let's say you work with a congressional office and you want to get those congressional staffers to the academy to learn more about the opportunity that they can share with their constituents. We have a great program called EIS, Educator and Influencer Summit. It is often held in the spring, and that is also put on by Ms. Leone or whoever our campus programs manager is at the time. So you would provide us their name and contact information. We would invite them directly to that event, and then if they're able to attend during those dates, which are typically in March, it's an early to mid-March event. Weather does sometimes play a factor. Welcome to New England. But we often are successful in launching that event, and we get about 25 to 35 participants at a time. So it's well worth it. It's great for networking. We encourage our educators from far away to also apply. We put those educators and influencers on government orders, so we're able to cover their costs of travel. And we also put them up locally here at the academy in the local area so that we cover the cost of their lodging. It is a wonderful event. We always get great feedback from that, and then they're able to go back to their schools and their communities and their congressional offices and share the wonderful benefits of the Coast Guard Academy with their students, who then end up applying to the Coast Guard Academy. They have an easier time going through the application process because they learn more about the academy, and an easier time kind of working through the acceptance process as well. Great question, Ms. Kuhn. Thank you so much for bringing that up. All right, as far as letters composed to give our educators who are interested in coming to that event, I believe there is a letter available. What you would want to do, also for the Genesis Invitational, there are letters to send out to educators to inform them of the Genesis Invitational and EIS. So make sure that you get with our campus programs coordinator. I'll make those resources available online as well under the documents section of your portal page. And we'll make sure that you have something to give out to those teachers and those students. Ultimately, though, to drive the professor, drive the educator influencer to our website, drive them to our contacts here, Ms. Leone, or our campus programs. We'll make sure that they get a individualized invitation in the mail and that all their questions are answered about the event. Are there any last minute questions? We're rounding out our time here. We got about 2 minutes left till the 18:30 mark. Looks like Mr. Alcon has a question coming in. All right. Well, wonderful, everybody. Thank you so much again for attending this evening's session. I'll be posting this video online so you can access it at any time. If anyone has any questions, please contact the office or myself or Miss Megan Grills via email or by contacting our front desk, 860-444-8503. I really appreciate everyone's participation this evening. Thank you so much. Always looking for additional questions, comments, concerns, or ideas for future webinar series. We want to make these trainings as interactive and productive as possible. So we appreciate it. Thank you all. Have a great night and go Bears.